Hey everyone, it's Christine here. Welcome back to my channel and to this weekly energy forecast for the week of April 1st through the 7th. We are in post-lunar eclipse energy and week. So last week we had the Libra lunar eclipse. Comment down below if you haven't already. How do you feel? How was your week? Briefly, you guys, I felt it. I felt this completely. I was wiped. I felt like a doormat on the carpet. I felt like I couldn't ground myself, even though I was grounding every day with meditation, a lot of prayer, and going outside. And I felt all over the place. And I felt like I had a lot of electricity in me, coming through me, and massive downloads, a lot of vivid dreams and visitations. Share your experiences down below and check out my eclipse playlist, particularly the video about post-eclipse hangover, because there you can also share your post-eclipse feelings, symptoms, energies, and what came up for you. And it's such a helpful way to connect to other people, because I know so many of us have navigated our spiritual journeys and various awakenings we've had, perhaps even the initial one, solo. And many folks are reconnecting now and trying to find communities, groups, and points of connection. So I just simply want to say, take time if you haven't, if you're still coming down from that eclipse, that's okay. Really listen and tune into what you're feeling. Because April, I feel like it's going to bring in a lot of more energy that is going to accelerate because of the Aries energy and the shifts that we've had from some of these planets that were in Pisces shifting into Aries. So things are moving and you can feel it. Drop down your favorite emoji, you all. Simply, what is coming up for you? I love engaging with you all. This is why I do this. It's so nice to be able to communicate and to get to know you all in this journey instead of just looking into a camera and feeling like I'm floating off somewhere, and maybe somewhere out there in the world is looking at this, but we are just turbocharging through a lot. Things are just moving. I keep seeing decks of cards and dominoes. You know, when you push one, it just moves quickly. That's the rapidity. And I myself, I am not an expert in quantum physics. I'm not an expert in sound or any of that. And the only way I can relate it is through feeling, sensations, and pictures. Because I can't wrap my head around the speed at, or the acceleration, I should say, in which a lot of the energy that we're feeling point blank in the way it's been occurring. So lots of things happening. Happy birthday to all my Aries. If you have a lot of planets here, even though you don't have your sun and it's not your birthday or solar return, I hope you enjoy the season to the fullest. I guess it'll depend on, you know, what's being aspected, but all my Aries. Reminder, all times are in Eastern Standard Time, New York City time for reference. We are going to dive right into the astrology. And on April 1st, we start with Mercury stationing retrograde, and about 2 weeks before, many of you may have already felt the energy, especially if you have your Mercury, your natal Mercury in Aries, or transit Mercury is making aspects to your natal Mercury. And even folks that may have significant placements in which Mercury is the ruler, Gemini or Virgo, and again, aspects have to be taken into account here. You may have already been feeling this, like you can't talk, and I have too, because sometimes what I feel like I'm saying makes sense in my head and it doesn't. So think with Aries, again, the Aries energy is ruled by Mars. So there's a rapidity, there could be an aggressiveness and impulsivity moving forward, especially with your mental stimulation. I myself am talking a lot faster, and many of you know I do not talk generally very fast because I tend to, bump into my words, run over them, they kind of crash together, and then we just fall apart. So some of you may be feeling like things are just happening at rapid speed, almost like maybe thunderbolts or lightning. So you may be having an increased acceleration of thinking, mental and stimulation, communication with others. Be careful with frustrations here, because you may be wanting to express, individuate, and communicate in ways that may seem abrupt, sometimes combative, aggressive, or assertive. Because remember, depending on how people take what you're saying, you may always receive it, or excuse me, you can receive it in a different way. But this is also a time around thinking, what we want our next steps to be and to go towards that. Because this Aries energy, especially with Mercury, it's about just diving in and doing it and exploring new things, taking time to figure out, where am I being called to next? What do I want to start anew? What maybe needs refreshing or freshening up in my life? So we'll have quite a bit of time for the next 3 weeks with Mercury retrograde in Aries to really bring in these energies with both the Libra and the Aries eclipses, with the Aries eclipse coming up on the 8th of April. So a lot of things are settling. Remember, even though the several planets, because we had a stellium in Pisces with the lunar eclipse in Libra about a week ago, and now these planets have been slowly, one by one, moving into Aries. So even though we're sensing greater movement forward and taking action and being bold and courageous and just doing it, which is precisely a underlying motto of Aries, Mercury retrograde is also asking us, whoa, wait a minute. We got to put the pause on. It's like Mercury's foot is on the accelerator and then the other foot's on the brake. Stop and go. So you may be feeling that over the next several weeks where you're like, wait a minute, I'm making progress here. Maybe you're on the job hunt and you're applying and you're sending out and you're not hearing anything and you're like, what's going on? Same thing with communicating. Maybe you're starting to reach out to people and revive your social networks and wanting to meet up and make plans, and things seem to be taking forever. I experienced that in a group setting, and it took like nearly 2 weeks to get responses. And I'm like, I knew why. I was just like, okay, patience is needed, which is antithetical to the Martian energy, because Mars, ruler of Aries, wants to go quickly and get things done now. So just take time by integrating any psychic and intuitive messages that you're getting. Pay attention to your dreams and what's coming up for you, what you're feeling in your body. Reassess, especially the Aries energy or area of your life, because those are themes that are being activated right now. So if you have Aries in your 7th house, partnerships, relationships, contracts. If you have Aries in your 11th house, friendships, patrons, allies, people that can uplift you, or those maybe that have some semblance of power that can help you in some way, especially connect to your goals, desires, and dreams, whether they're personal or professional. So take a look at the area of life being activated, because a lot of these messages that we're getting and things to reflect, review, I was going to say repause, but pause and not take as much forward movement as we want, simply require a step back. And you may be feeling, oh, I said yes to this, but I think I have to do things differently, or I have to retract that, or completely dissolve that and say no. So we're learning a lot right now. Collectively, Aries, the archetype relates to our self-expression and is about our individuality, especially in relation to others. And there's a lot of massive reshuffling happening right now in relationships. Doesn't matter what sign you're in. Even if you don't have a lot of planets or aspects in Aries, it will still get activated during this time because of the transits. A lot of themes coming up around interpersonal relationships, empowerment, not giving your power away to others, valuing yourself, determining your values, figuring out who you want to allow in your energetic bubble and who you do not want to allow. So Mercury retrograde, as much as some people give it a misnomer, a misname, they misrepresent it, it's a really wonderful time to just slow down amidst this rapid, accelerated energy and ask yourself, is this truly the direction that I want to go in? Or am I doing it for other reasons? I also think of retrograde energy as door stopper energy. You know those door stoppers that you put under doors so the door doesn't continuously move, close, or open? It just stays stationary. This is what I'm feeling with Aries. So this is where we can really take a look again and see, how am I proceeding? How am I feeling? What do I need to take a look at again, etc. In general, with retrogrades, especially Mercury retrogrades, it's going to ping at mercurial themes around communication, friendship, knowledge, business, commerce, finances, marketing, any online stuff, because modern significations would lend to social media platforms, Instagrams. I almost said pickpocket, but I don't think that's a platform. TikTok is one. Twitter, or I think they call it X now, Pinterest, those types of things, YouTube, blogging, any way you express yourself, writing, sharing with others in different forms of mediums, different channels, however you do that. Divination, astrology, and occult are also highlighted here. So this is a time to reformulate any practices, any interests or modalities, something you may be inspired, especially with all of this eclipse energy and a lot of the changes that are happening quickly. You may all of a sudden feel inspired to say, you know what, I'd love to start studying a form of esoteric knowledge, topics, metaphysics, astrology, or even on the other side, consume it in some way, maybe learn about it on your own or get a reading or simply connect with that in your own way. There's something here because of the themes relating to Pisces. We have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. There's a confluence of spiritual energy here and everyone harnessing it in their own way and fomenting that channel. It's kind of like when there's a blizzard or maybe mud that gets into your sidewalk and you want to clear it out. That's what we're doing. We're creating or excavating perhaps that channel, that spiritual channel, and seeing what do I need to clean out? What do I want to cement or set a foundation for so I can make this channel work for me and also connect to the divine, because everyone has their own umbilical cords, their own channels. Again, just keep an eye out for frustrations. If you're talking with someone and they're not understanding me, they're not making sense, and inside your head you're having this conversation and you're like, what's going on? Breathe. Remember, the contrariety of Mars, the ruler of Aries, is Venus, ruler of Taurus and Libra. Just put in your Venus blanket on and say, breathe. Calm down. And patience. Something that we also learn in Aries is patience and navigating that things may not always go in the way that we want or on the timeline that we want. So there's an energy here of having to lean back a little bit when things may not be working. Otherwise, if you push, you may experience frustrations. You may experience some sort of emotional suffering where you are trying to make something happen and it doesn't. On April 3rd, we have Venus in Pisces conjoining Venus and Neptune at 28 degrees. So there is a lot of heightened romantic, spiritual, creative energy at this time. And this is going to tap into what brings you pleasure. You know, the themes are coming from others or we to me or I. So many folks are, again, reimagining what their identities look like at this time. People are asking themselves, who am I? A lot of identity shifts going on. It doesn't matter where this is happening. People are asking themselves, am I this way in my work? How am I appearing? What doesn't make sense to me anymore? And this particular alignment is really going to highlight what really brings me joy, what makes me happy, especially for those of you that may be feeling like the light turned off or the spark is gone. And I'm not even talking about anything romantic. Do you feel like you're just working or surviving and you're not really living in life? Do you feel like there's an imbalance in some way where 3/4 of your time is spent just constantly doing and you're like, I'm not really relaxing, I'm not connecting, I'm not even engaging in passions. I don't even remember what passions are. Pay attention to this energy. So think about what you would love to do more of. What themes, topics, ideas, or nuggets are popping in. You may be feeling it. Maybe you want to spend more time alone or in nature or cultivating your spiritual practice or reading more or learning something new, photography, writing, cooking. Maybe you want to add video gaming, or you simply want to practice a skill, or you maybe want to sleep and rest and you're like, peace out to the world. Whatever it is, think about what it is that you would like to take a step towards. Some of you, I feel, are going to encounter soul bonds here, romantic or platonic. When I say soul bonds, soul mates, it's not just romantic. You could also deepen existing ones because there's going to be, with this reformulation of self and your identity and also your interpersonal relationships and how you are coming into these relationships, showing up and also engaging, there's a higher level octave or expansion or energy happening here where current relationships that you have may become deepened. You may all of a sudden reconnect to people from the past or folks that you're like, I don't really know if we're falling apart or going apart or what. So stay open to any of those changes that could happen. A lot of downloads. I just feel like I need, excuse me, I keep hitting the microphone. I keep getting massive download energy because of everything we've gone through, especially in this season of eclipses. So pay attention because you're getting them yourself and they're unique to you. This alignment is also about finding pleasure in the material world or physical world, which is very Venusian, as well as in the spiritual world or something more transcendental beyond us, what we may not always see or touch, but we can feel, which is Neptune. And there's a merging here of both. That's why some of you may feel very provoked in redecorating your space, making it feel the way you want to feel. You may want to beautify it in your own way. And again, beauty is very relative. Some people go for the minimal one carpet look, maybe not even a carpet. Other people love plastering their walls with wallpaper, lights, who knows? But this is a time to ask yourself, how am I re-envisioning what it surrounds me, what I want around me, who I am within these themes? Because when you shift, a lot shifts around you. It's kind of, for example, a good example is when you maybe become a parent, going from a single lifestyle to a parent lifestyle. It's very different. People child-proof their home. People start taking a look at, okay, well, what can we move so children don't get hurt, etc. It's a very different thing. Same thing when you graduate maybe from college and you enter the workforce, huge identity shift. So just think about all of these things that are coming to you because you'll feel it. On April 4, Venus enters Aries. So she enters her detriment here. And remember, I just mentioned it just a little bit ago. Venus is comfortable in Libra and Taurus. Those are her homes. Not so much Aries, which is the opposite energy ruled by Mars. So here, Venus may be acting more impetuous, feisty, bold, and courageous. And there's a spark to her here, more excitable. So it's, to me, I got like, it's time to go. It's time to have fun. And there's a lot more energy pumped into her. This is a really good time to try anything Venusian or particularly related to the area of life that's being activated for you. So take a look at Aries in general, which is the season that we're in. I kept getting stuff about, like, for any of you, because relationships have been a big theme with the North Node in Aries and South Node in Libra, trying new things with people. Be bold, be daring, reach out. This goes for both dating, if you're looking for a romantic partnership, or you're in a relationship, or for platonic friendships at work, or personal friendships that you're building. Reach out. I always used to tell people, finding friends and connecting to friends, it's a lot like dating. Sometimes you meet people, whether it's in part of a networking group, or it's friends of a friend of a friend, or whatever the case is, and you're like, oh, I don't really connect, or others you connect, or you find, soul-like bonds with people. This is an opportunity to just do it. Join a new group or a new environment that's related to something you want to do, you want to learn, that interests you, that's calling to you, because that's where you can meet people. But it means taking a chance with this Aries energy, with Venus and Aries. Same thing with dating. If any of you have gotten back into that, ask someone out, go out, maybe start at friendships and see where that develops. Do something. This is a great time for socializing. I also got a lot of new classes with movements like exercise, workouts, working with trainers, boxing, martial arts, anything where you want to learn something disciplined, karate, aikido, so many more. Take the lead and don't be afraid, because one of the beauties of this energy with Venus and Aries is trying something, and if it doesn't work out, okay, it wasn't meant for you, keep going. And you could discover so many new things, not just about the world and other people, but about yourself. On April 6th, we have Venus in Aries forming a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. Intense bonds and desires. And I mentioned this with the Libra lunar eclipse one video, where I really go into this because relationships are a big theme here. And if you haven't watched it, I encourage you to watch it. For me, I kept getting a big emphasis on folks wanting to find deep relationships It doesn't matter what your natal sign says. If you're like, oh, but it's in Gemini. We are seeing shifts now collectively where people are asking themselves, our values are not aligned to these folks, whether it's work people or personal relationships or romantic, whatever it is. There's a deepening here of wanting to connect with people on a spiritual and soul level. You want to exchange in things more than just the weather. You want to have people to rely on, support system. Reciprocity is key here as well. And also people that are doing their own healing and their own work. That's been a big theme here. And that's why a lot of people have been getting triggered. There's dings, a lot of dissolutions or separations of all relationships happening because people have learned everything they could in that specific relationship or container with that person. And now it's like, okay, we need to go our own ways and learn with other people. Sometimes they rejoin and come back into your lives, and other times that was it. So this alignment is really provoking transformations and deep desires that are coming out around what you enjoy with people, what you enjoy yourself, how you can maintain that and perhaps safeguard that with other people. Think about how you want to bond, connect with others, love on yourself, perhaps tapping into love language and exploring that, and ways to find joy. All of these are shifting towards a new equilibrium. It's interesting because I noted a channeled vision that I saw here. I kept seeing fish tanks and hamster cages. Side note, I used to have rodents, and I had fish when I was younger, but rodents were my thing, teddy bear hamsters in particular. And I kept seeing traditional cages, and then I saw high-tech cages, almost like they're not even the colored ones. They were just expansive, big, almost like little cities. And there's a communal aspect here, a social communal aspect here that's going on with the Aquarian energy from Pluto, where we're wanting to connect with people, and not just intellectually, but also on a deepening level, like I mentioned, with similar goals. That's the thing. There's something similar to share around. And I've been getting a confluence around heart-centered, love-centered energy, a common social goal, or something to make progress on in general. I also kept channeling new relationships blooming, new interests, new ways of connecting and doing things that feel a bit scary, but are really going to provide a lot of stimulation, especially creatively and intellectually. So that's why you never know how you meet people. I just recently connected with a new friend, colleague, because I knew I needed to finish my website, and I finally did. That's another note. And I connected to someone I know. I've had a soul bond with this person. It is amazing, and this is what's been happening. You've been feeling like, hey, where's my community? Where's my connection? Where are my people? They're coming. Just start in this season with Aries. You can tap into the archetypal energies of just do it. Just try something new, something different, because that's where you will more than likely find people that are very much aligned to you. Guys, coming up on April 8th, we have the total solar eclipse in Aries, second one in this season, piggybacking, I should say, after the Libra lunar eclipse. And on the 11th, we have the Mercury retrograde cazimi. Okie dokes, let's get into the tarot forecast and see what additional messages are coming up. I also pulled two oracles, self-care and an angel oracle. I feel like so many folks have gotten so many messages, and again, I probably don't say this enough, but I have it usually in my video descriptions. My goal is not to constantly tell people this is what's happening to you. It's to help you tap into the energies and say, what's coming up for me? Does this align for me? What have I been feeling? Because everyone is psychic. Some people just don't want to pursue it. So we're all intuitive at some level. Okay, what messages do we need to know for the week of April 1 through the 7th? What else do we need to be aware of? Okay. Bottom of the deck, Page of Swords. Kid you not. This is air energy. Aries, Libra. No, what am I saying, Aries? Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. I'm going to blame it on Mercury retrograde. or I should say the pre-shadows. But look, messages are coming in, wisdom and knowledge. I don't sense any definitive defensiveness coming, but I feel like some of you, any wisdom, knowledge, intuitive messages or psychic messages that come in may counter your belief systems, may counter what you already know. It may push against something that you've tried doing or you've been doing, almost a status quo energy, and it's telling you it's time to change directions. Wow, and we got judgment in reverse. Oh, we got some reversals here. We've got Page of Wands in reverse. This is fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sag. We've got 10 of Wands. More fire, Aries, Leo, Sag. We've got 4 of Pentacles in reverse, Earth, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. And 3 of Pentacles, more Earth. 2 fire, 2 earth, 2, 2, or 2, 2, 2, 2. Some of you may be seeing these things because a lot of balance is coming into place. Ever notice when things shake and then we wait for it to slow down and come into an equilibrium? Okay, Page of Wands. And can you guys see this? I feel like there's glares. Page of Wands in reverse and 10 of Wands. So there's endings here, perhaps with other people, but there's an ending in a creative, in a way that you use your energy. It could be creative, like I just said. But I also feel like there's an energy of not carrying other people's burdens anymore, not being responsible in places or for people that you have no business being responsible for, and letting that go. Some of this is energetic for folks, where you may have been carrying the past, you may have been carrying guilt, you may have been carrying certain responsibilities and burdens that had nothing to do with you, but you took them on, and it may have felt weighted. Some of you may be dealing with neck, shoulder pain, especially upper back pain, head pain too, as they're all connected. But again, I'm not, a medical doctor. I'm just feeling here. Shoulders too. Some of you may have like misalignments or feel like things are digging into you, especially for anyone that may wear like a bra, or you may wear any clothing, you may have felt restricted. And it's emoting, these energies are emoting a feeling stuck, oppressed, maybe suffocated, or feeling like you're carrying too much. Interesting though, because I feel like some of you may know what it is that is going to be released, getting ready to be released, or that you need to let go of. You know what's interesting? I got really hot. I just got really hot right now. And there may be a little bit of a fear or resistance to letting go. You know when you know something's about to end and you're like, okay, let me try one last thing. Or you're like, what can I do? This is what I'm getting. And sometimes we have to experience that last effort where we're like, okay, I'm going to try to save this or make this work a different way or fix it, until we realize, you know what, I'm ready to drop all of these wands and let go. Because we have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. And then we have the 3 of Pentacles. And I feel like there's some fears here to contend. Some of you, this definitely arises or comes from relationships. Could be from general burning out in having to do so much for other people, or having to take on just general responsibilities for XYZ. And that could be a lot. Just fill in that. And I feel like I'm just getting heavy energies with the 10 of Wands. And here there's almost a need of, okay, I'm going to take a step back and I need to reassess what matters to me, what my values are in relationships. Why didn't this work with people? Or it could be something bigger, like a job or a particular decision or situation. What happened here? What is it that I wanted and what happened? Where was that perhaps discrepancy? Because I feel like there's some internal inner working, solitude, perhaps like a pause of sorts that's going to help you understand moving forward. Okay, perhaps this clicked. this is what I'm changing, or this is what I truly want to do, or what I value. And when you come to that point of clarity, because right now with these energies, a lot of us, it's almost as if you're trying to see with clearness outside, but it's raining. So you're waiting for that water to stop, coming down. It's going to allow you to start fomenting connections. Three of Pentacles, to me, because these can be connections in a work environment in terms of wealth and money and physical material goods, for example, but I also feel like this speaks to long, stable, durable connections. Many people have been realizing that the energies that they have been around or supporting or connected to, they weren't what they thought. And for some, they can call it disillusionment, perhaps wearing, rose-colored glasses, or it could simply be or represent some type of betrayal to them, because they're like, wow, I thought this person or the situation was something very different, and it's not. So there's a deep reflective period this week, perhaps with some of these alignments with Venus and Neptune, and really connecting. I have been saying this nonstop. You guys, connect to your spiritual practice. The best place to start, sit on the couch or on the floor, or if you want, in nature, and just sit there and see what comes. Just listen. If nothing comes, have patience. That's the thing. People give up so easily and too early, especially when they're fine-tuning their psychic gifts and trying to maybe improve that channel, harness them, strengthen them. Have patience. Sometimes when you are also going through different awakenings, you have different abilities that are coming through. Maybe you're expecting, maybe you're clairvoyant, for example, and you're like, okay, I'm expecting the messages to come through this way. Lo and behold, they start coming through other means, maybe clairaudient ways. So maybe clairaudience is going to be another ability. So really be open during this time, have a lot of patience, and tap into this, because this is all speaking to what you know and what's coming to you. A lot of focus on letting go of any energies that were in and out. Again, these were energies that were maybe short-lived, or some of you have been dealing with them for a long time with the 10 of Wands. This can be work environments too, not just individuals. But this has to do a lot with energetic exchanges and interpersonal relations. Let's take a look now at the Angel Oracle and see what other messages we need to know. It just plopped here. I got one. It hasn't turned over. We got no. I heard, is this cycle going to repeat? No. Some of you need to pay attention and listen to yourself. There's emotions here. This looks like water to me, but I feel there's emotion. Some of you need to communicate, whether it's for closure or to simply communicate for yourself and let that energy out, like making your final peace. I'm not talking about berating people or doing any of that, but simply saying, I need to express this, and I need to let someone, something, or even myself know this week that maybe something has to be released, because something's not repeating here. There's an acknowledgement of a finality here. I'll read the little booklet to you guys for more info, but there's something I feel that is being released and let go. I keep getting verbal communication. It's almost like when someone tells you, you have the audacity to say that. Some of you are learning to project your voice, not just in tone and in terms of loudness, but to let others know, hey, I'm here, I'm visible, I exist. Your angels are drawing close at this time to help you recognize that the answer to the question on your mind is no. This is not the time to proceed. You may want to, but you are being encouraged to see beyond the current situation and understand that following through on your ideas may have a negative effect on the whole course of your life. Angels are swooping in because they want to save the day and save you a lot of heartache from a choice that is not heart-centered. If you are feeling upset or annoyed by this guidance, that's okay. You are allowed to have an emotional response, but in truth, there will be a part of you that already knows that what you are considering isn't the best of your energy. Very much taps into the retrograde energy. If there's something that you have been trying to push forward, make something work. In other words, it means you exerting energy in any way, whether it's sending an email, follow up with someone, or hey, did you get this, or whatever it is. It may mean taking a pause right now and not taking action. The extended message says, do not make plans, do not move forward, retreat and reflect. Think deeply, seek the advice of those you love and trust, and ask them to help you get to the bottom of the question or issue or decision that is before you. Do not make any sudden moves. This card is coming in to help you sustain your mental, emotional, and spiritual energy and stay on the road to wholeness. This taps into a lot of what I said about Mercury in Aries. This isn't a time to push anything in this season. Final card, you guys, Self-Care Oracle, and see what final guidance the universe has for you for this week. Thank you. We got two that flip. We got number 2. You guys, 2 is prominent. I mentioned that earlier. Alone time. Some of you may feel like you've split in 2. Emotionally, mentally, physically. You could literally have split up with someone, and that means the division of material goods and anything else that was shared. And I feel like there's a point of here of reintegrating that back together, because when you're alone, you do that. You spend time with you yourself, right? And a lot of water here, a lot of cleansing and purging. Many people are still going through the process of releasing that through crying, through anger, a lot of grief coming up as well. Alone time is very healing and therapeutic right now. Aries is very much about independence and learning to do and honor things for yourself and on your own. Some of you may be learning how to do that, learning to be more self-sustainable, learning to rely on yourself too, in so many different ways. It doesn't mean that you have to peace out to the city and say, I'm going to grow my own vegetables and not have any electricity. This is simply a shift from anything you've been doing before to maybe overly rely on something or someone, because it allows you to say, wait, I can do this too. It gives you confidence. It raises your esteem and empowers you. Many people tend to see spending time alone as something negative, because a lot of people are fearful of spending time with themselves, because that's where you're going to get those psychic and intuitive messages. Those nuggets whisper, not when there's a crowd. Generally, some people feel it, but you get the messages subtly when it's you, just relaxed. Your second card, number 8, chanting. Again, throat chakra is prominent here, you guys. We've got the lotus. Throat chakra is prominent in this reading. Some of you have been working, healing, balancing your throat chakra, learning to express yourself, be assertive, be bold, state what it is that you're feeling because of the emotional energies here. Some of you are learning how to express your emotions, how to get comfortable naming your emotions and say, wow, this is what I'm feeling today. And you may say it out loud to a journal, to others. This is going to be important. This is also a sign for some of you that activating this part is going to strengthen. It's tied to your identity and who you are. Some of you in other relationships, I feel, may have allowed people to say what they want or do what they want, and you never spoke up for many reasons. And you may be realizing that's not really how I want my relationships to work. That's not really how I want to navigate life. I also matter. I also care about myself, and I want to do things differently. Some of you are just going back to home. You're centering. Do you see the way that they're all like in similar positions? You guys are connecting very much to your throat chakra and crown chakra as well. Guys, I hope this reading has helped. Comment down below. Let me know what's going on. Even a thank you. It really helps my channel. Give this video a thumbs up if this was helpful. I'm always welcome to any feedback, you guys. I am constantly learning. Right now, I'm trying to figure out how to put things into the video. You know, how people like it shows up one step at a time. I'm wishing you a beautiful week ahead. Keep honoring yourself and listening to yourself and what you receive. I'll see you soon. Take care.